I tell you what, we got some superb marching this week. Can't believe it. And if that don't excite you, on top of that, there was not. Listen, I know I've given it a lot of stick, this show, for walking and talking. This week, walking and chanting. It was too much to take. I've watched it 3 or 4 times already. Not. Bonjour. Yeah. They did it this week. They did the job. They did it. And I mean the characters. I don't mean the creators and producers doing the job of delivering a weekly episode, a story. Like, do you remember Buck Rogers in the 24th and a half century? Or was that Duck Dodgers? I literally just did that. No, not that the 24th. It was in the 24th century. Whatever he, not Duck Dodgers, Buck Rogers. The 70s one I'm talking about, not the black and white. Battlestar Galactica. Do you remember the old one with biddy 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 and all that? Star Trek, the old one. Do you remember when they had one story a week? Every week was beginning, middle, end. Because this ANDOR stuff, it showed so much promise at the beginning, right? And I've got a fellow YouTuber who I get on very well with. Big shout out to old Midlife Nerded. And big shout out to Space Lizard, my old friend. Right, and he was the one, I've obviously known him longer than I've known Midlife Nerded. But he said about the format. And they're both right about the formats, the beginning, middle, end. I know about story structure and all the rest of it. But what we've still got here is one story up till now, yeah. If it ended here with the heist, and the heist and what they've started is obviously leading, and it's got ramifications, and oh my God, yes, come on. And this is the second act. It's taken us 6 episodes to get here. Now, if there was an episode of the A-Team or MacGyver, and it was the same setup every week, but we went back to it every week, and you can look back on it and you can accuse me of being, oh, yeah, geekyOlhog, mate. Like, you keep banging on about the old shit. And when we watch it, it's just a load of old crap, and we watched it in an episode of Incredible Hulk and Gurr, but anyway, fucking Lou Ferrigno, it looks better than that crap CGI shit She-Hulk they've got going. Anyway, but I'm going well off the track. I'm almost breaking the fourth wall like She-Hulk. I'm going to invade another one of my videos in a minute and interrupt it with me saying, oh, I'm in the wrong video. Ha ha ha. Anyway, we're still with Dismal, aren't we? We're still with Dismal, but that's another Dismal, that's another show. It's another load of old bollocks. Let's get back onto this one. And I'm not hating it. I know I'm getting all excitable, but it's just that we're all making excuses. I did the same with the first 3 episodes. Should have been one pilot, but to be fair, hour and a half, it's still not one pilot, is it? It's still not that, and it or it is that, but it would still need editing down, and there was an hour and a half there, and it's only an hour. Really there. And 6 of the walking and talking they've been doing, and now we get listening to the indigenous ANDOR, whatever they are on that planet, and we get the whole episode. Ain't they built up this star show, sky show, whatever it is, the lights, the Northern Lights, whatever it is they're building up to, and oh my God, we get them chanting, and we keep getting them go back to them chanting and singing, building up to the great display and all the rest of it. Yeah, and I get it, and there was this fairly decent writing. That's their way of escaping, is using the thing and all that. Fine, I get it. But nevertheless, God, how much build-up do we need? And I wouldn't mind if the build-up was the Death Star blowing up at the end. That's the fucking build-up, isn't it? They managed that in an hour and a half. And what a fucking impact that had. We've had, I don't know, 6 episodes. So how many hours have we sat through? And getting back to the format, getting right back onto the tracks. The format is still, I don't think it's the strongest excuse for this show. Because what we're all wanting, what I hear when we're making these excuses is it's because we're wanting it to work, aren't we? We're begging Dismal Minus, please give us some Star Wars. But getting back to Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek, add in brackets any other sci-fi show made back in a day where ratings mattered, where they needed an audience, where they couldn't make it up, They had to create a series, an hour a week of a story that delivered, that made people care, that made them laugh, cry, sing, boo and hiss the villain, whatever it was, and they had to deliver. And that's why something like X-Files ran and ran and ran. Mulder and Scully, they even had a song. They even had a song about them. And they even turned up on The Simpsons, didn't they, Mulder and Scully? Now that's the pinnacle, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to try and stay on these tracks, but they're getting fucking wobbly lately, I tell you. The bolts are all loosening and that. I think I'm driving an angry train down these tracks, thanks to Dismal Minus, an angry train. And now we're getting the one story we would have got. They would have had all these writers back in the day. And it's old, and I know I'm a geeky old hog, so if you're not up for a little explanation of how it used to be done, then I don't know, fast forward, or you'll have to, sorry to see you go, but if you've had enough. No, I don't mean that. I won't go there. I want you on board. Come on, because I want to talk about it. I want people to comment, and let's get into it. But I'm just telling you how I feel, which is there was a time when there would be a creative pool of writers, directors, actors, actresses, producers, set designers, and they had to deliver weekly. Normally, these series would run for 20 odd episodes, like Walking Dead. It was really great, Walking Dead, when there was 20 odd episodes a year. And I know they broke it down into 2 Wassits for some reason. I think it was due to seasonal stuff. I don't know what. But nevertheless, that was it seems like an old-fashioned format now, doesn't it? Now we're getting this excrement piped to us immediately, or weekly in Dismal Minus's case. Now they're shoving that down us with our jaws held open like in some kind of bizarre dentistry office, and we can't not swallow it. We can't not swallow it. That's what she said. Anyway, I'm struggling to keep on the tracks because there's not a lot to talk about. We stretch it out and we stretch it out, and there's more walking and the marching in this one. The 4 of them doing the heist. There's 6 of them in the gang in there. The 2 women, they go off to do the good shit. They go off to do the James Bond stuff because they're the whaman and it's dismal. And the blokes do the marching. And I thought they sorted out the marching order as well in one of the other episodes. I've got to admit, I wasn't listening that intently, but I thought they'd sorted out the order and they was back to the old like the little where they all stand when they're marching. Oh, and it was so funny. Oh, lifting their feet up. Oh, we march over here. Yes, sir. About face. Oh, it was like carry on up the Khyber. Where they had all the English soldiers marching around. Oh, and it is a carry on. Carry on up my ANDOR. That's what I'm calling this video. Carry on right up my ANDOR. Because it does. Dismal Minus gets right up my ANDOR. And then we knew who was going to get it. The one character that calm down, old boy, calm it down. We know, you know, they have rounded out these characters quite nicely actually in this gang. Right, positives. Let's stay on the positive track. Here I am. I'm back on the positive track. They have done a decent job in this, but again, we're kind of picking. We're trying to pick the tasty sweet corn out of the turd, aren't we? Oh, there's another little bit of sweet corn. I'll have a little suck on that when it's dried out. Nevertheless, but it's still a turd. It is. It's weak. It is weak. But we want Star Wars. We want new, good Star Wars so badly. This is my theory. We want it so badly that, and this is definitely, you know, on the positive track. This is definitely done by people who have at least got some imagination and talent. That word, imagination. Now, sci-fi, and I'm going to use my three little old-fashioned examples because I am an old geezer. Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica. Do you remember all the aliens and the robots and the spaceships and the alien worlds and the exotic species? Do you remember all that? Whether it was the little robot dog in Buck Rogers, you know, biddy, 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 or it was a different alien race a week in Star Trek, or, I mean, Battlestar Galactica is probably the weakest, was it? But it was set on a spaceship in space with the fighters and all the rest of it, and the pilot, Starbuck, and all that. And it was sci-fi, wasn't it? Every scene wouldn't be anything recognisable, would it? It might be a cardboard set, but it would be the spaceship. It would be the Enterprise. It would be whatever the one in Battlestar Galactica was called. That's what I grew up with. So that's what I think is grating on me now, is that this is Star Wars, and at the beginning of ANDOR, we did get the funny little robot. I thought, all right, they've thrown that in, and there was another episode where the TIE fighters were going overhead. Even in this episode, the TIE fighters don't even sound like they did in a few episodes ago, which was the traditional, like, meow. In this one, the sound effects were all off again. But they didn't sound like the TIE fighters, because for some reason they don't want. I have heard that up on high, they don't want too many references to the cinema stuff because this isn't as big as cinema. But why can't it be as big as cinema? With all the technology and the money they've got, and the locations, like I mentioned a couple of videos ago, you know, the locations they've got, oh my God, don't they want to use them? We're up a mountain, down a mountain, round the mountain, church on the mountain, chanting on the mountain, round the mountain. It's just a mountain, like anyone else's. I wouldn't mind if someone had put some alien vegetation up or something, but all it is just, and that's where there's the lack of imagination in it. And Star Wars had so much. I mean, so it's like this episode was a bit like getting towards the end of Guns of Navarone or Where Eagles Dare. But they were written and structured as films from, I don't know about Guns of Navarone, but certainly Where Eagles Dare was a book. And they were written by superlative authors. So your source material is as strong as you're ever going to get. And this ain't. But it was reminding me of that, and I wouldn't mind if they just copied it. But lob the aliens and the robots on top. If it's sci-fi, surely to God you've got to use the sci-fi tropes. What's making this sci-fi at the moment? They had a few even the blaster that the bird uses, the miserable one in the gang. He looked like an AK-47. I thought, for one moment, don't tell me that this heist, that old Sven Skarsgård can't provide them with some blasters. But no, it was but it was a blaster. But nevertheless, it just looked like an AK-47. Why? Why is that? If it was in a less technologically developed universe, and it was 300 years ago and the technology was coming through, all right, I get it, but nevertheless, why would you make it look like an AK-47 from planet Earth? I thought this was in a galaxy far, far away. And I thought it was a long, long time ago. But they had technology a long, long time ago. Or am I wrong about that? I'll have to research that one. Fucking hell. So, anyway, they do the heist and Nemec gets it. He had to, didn't he? Now, he didn't even make that resonate. So they build up to it and you think, yeah, yeah. And he just fades away on the surgery table. What I will say though is finally, I mean, it got me going a bit because they've used the surgeon has got 4 arms and he's got the glasses on and what's it's in. And I thought, but that's all you've got to do. It's as easy as that. But they made that work so nicely. He's got 4 arms. Great. A surgeon in a sci-fi. I don't think I've seen that done. I could be wrong. Please comment. Please comment. Let me know because I'm genuinely curious. That's a little hog quiz. Have we ever seen that in a sci-fi before? A surgeon, think about it. We've seen robot surgeons, that's fine, and we know about precision computers and all that. But we've seen one with 4 arms, so he can do this over there and he can do that here. And they don't, pure sci-fi. But that's what we want, isn't it? No? I don't know. Or do we want a Second World War setting for a spy thriller stretched across 10 hours? Do we? Because I know Guns and Navarone banged on a bit, and I think so did Where Eagles Dare, because you have got to intricately set in, you know, it's an intricate setup for this stuff to get to the payoffs and the traitor. And you kind of, you're guessing all the way along, or you're thinking, oh, who is going to be the traitor? Who is going to get it? And there was always a bird involved in it because it was World War II. All right, I know times have changed. Don't hate me. But there'd always be that bird involved. You think, oh, is she going to be the traitor? Or, you know, one of them, his weakness is he's falling in love with a bird. And all the rest of it, they obviously can't do that now, can they? Fucking hell. Anyway. So it makes it insipid. This is just insipid. There is a, you know, there's good bits in it. But it's, you know, it's I don't know. It is still a lot. It's taking its time. There's still a lot of walking and talking. And, you know, getting back to the format, this could have all been condensed down. I think we're all making excuses, and I'm getting fed up making excuses, to be fair. But it's because we want it to be good. And I still do want this to be good. And this wasn't, in summary, this was not a bad episode. But it's like every title to every Dismal Mindless show I do, it's got to be not a lot happened this week. But the heist, at least the heist did happen, and that was well done. It's pointless me going through the heist scene step by step and what they did and who died and who got shot, because it has been done so many times before. And there was no other inventiveness in it. It was trolleys with wheels. It was blasters that looked like World War II or modern day Earth weaponry. Apart from taking off in the spaceship at the end, there's nothing to it. They're literally taking gold bars. So, I don't know, or is it me? Sci-fi used to have imagination. But it wasn't a bad episode. I'm still going to watch it next week. This isn't on my shit list, but come on, guys, don't we deserve better? Don't we? Anyway, that's all I've got. Like I say, I'm looking forward to next week. And intriguing also that now the heist is done, just before I go, now the heist is done, I am wondering. So, and this is definitely a step up. Definitely a step up for the dismal Star Wars Brigade. It is getting a little bit more adult oriented. It is a darker viewpoint, and that they're all the plus points. And I'm still watching next week, and I'm not kind of thinking, sitting there in my arms sort of going, oh, you know, like with shit, like what's going to wash over me this week? Like, fucking hell, like they're going to do it again. no, I will be looking forward to it, and that's that. So I will leave it there and bid you adios.